Hey guys, how's everyone doing? Welcome back to Harry's Highlights. On this video, we're going to be talking about the book, The 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. What I like about this book, it's all about understanding if you follow these 21 irrefutable laws, people will follow you. Now that line in the title there, irrefutable, meaning no denying. So these 21 laws are irrefutable. There's no grey areas, there's no different angles you can look at it, it's not double speak of any kind. They're irrefutable laws. These are black and white laws that if you follow them, people will follow you. They are the foundational points of being a good, effective leader. So some of the laws that I want to talk about, there is 21, they all deserve their own basically video. Like they deserve to be spoken about each individually. But what I'll do is just cover some of the ones that I really felt I want to talk about the most, that I feel have the most, impact on people. So the first one is the law of the lid. This is all about your potential. So this is all about understanding, the law of the lid is about understanding where you cap yourself. See, so regardless of how much knowledge you have, regardless of how much skill you have, if you don't follow the right fundamentals, you'll then cap yourself. There's a limit to how much growth you can actually have. You know, if you limit yourself by how much you commit to growing as a leader, you'll limit how much you can grow as a person, and your potential to lead, and your group and team. So the law of the lead is all about, like, by neglecting or not following certain laws, you then put a lid on yourself, a cap on yourself, a ceiling. You limit how much growth you can have. You limit your potential. So it's like understanding, like, if you have a car, for example, you have a Ferrari, they have potential to grow extremely fast, but the driver will decide how fast the car goes. So the lid of the potential of that car is based on the driver. So the driver's skill has to improve or knowledge has to improve to be able to drive the car faster. But the car's potential hasn't changed. The lid that's put on it is based on the driver. Same thing with you. Your potential is your potential, and the limit or the law of the lid that you put on yourself, is based on your commitment to growth. How much you decide that your commitment to improving your weaknesses, working on your strengths, amplifying your strengths, all those areas is what caps or opens up your potential. Now, the second one I'll talk about there is the law of influence. Now, the law of influence is all about understanding, basically, the true measure of leadership is getting people to follow you. So if you can get people to participate, you can get people to do things, whether they want to or not want to do it, that's not what the law of influence is about. That is what the measure of leadership is. People's ability to feel, I don't really want to do this, but you're inspiring me to do it, so I'm going to do it anyways. That is a measure of leadership. Your ability to influence, your ability to persuade, your ability to motivate these people to do things that they either want to do or not want to do. Now, understanding that it's earned. Influence is earned. It's not something that is sort of given. It's not something that is expected. It's earned. For somebody to allow you to influence them requires you to be a strong leader. It's not something you can just force influence on someone. They have to allow it to happen. So understanding that, it helps you understand that just because you have a title doesn't mean that you automatically can now lead people. You can automatically influence people. That's why you get so many people in these management positions, for example, that wear their badge, wear their name tag as a badge of honor. They see it as like, I'm a manager. And that's great, you've got a title, but your ability to influence people is based on them allowing you to influence them or not. So we've all had like situations where, especially at school, where we have a teacher and we don't respect them, we don't like them, but they say, I'm the teacher, you're the student, you have to listen to me. It's like that authoritative angle is the reason why there's resentment, the reason why there's reluctancy, and the reason why it's like you'll do the bare minimum, no more. And it's like, if they said walk, 10 steps, but whatever it is, the destination's 12, you walk 10 steps and you go, oh, that's it. I'm only walking 10 because you said 10, because I don't like you. So, but the law of influence is that, like, if it's 12 steps away and I mistakenly say, 10 steps, but you're allowing me to influence it, you're like, nah, what Harry would want is we want me to go the whole way, so I'm going to go that way. Like, hey Harry, I made it 12 steps because, you might have missed it, but you thought it was 10, but it's actually 12, but I did it anyway because I wanted to, wanted to be part of this team, and I felt like that was what you wanted to do, so I took the initiative. Where the law of influence is that, like, when your PT says, like, you need to train, 3 times a day, and then you train. Then the next day goes just train twice a day here, and then you go on that third training session. You're like, well, he'd probably want me to train 3 times a day, so I'm going to do that because I feel that's like what he'd want. You're allowing them to influence you. You're allowing them to influence your decisions because they've earned the ability to be influenced by you by them. So understanding that law and the power it has is the reason why you get managers and leaders, people with a title and people with a position, people with that have people that want to follow them. The other one I want to talk about there is about the law of process. So leadership develops daily, not in a day. It's something that you grind away, you polish, and you build upon. It's not something that as soon as you have that title, bam, you're a leader. No, there's a lot of learning and growing that needs to come with it. Even those that are natural leaders, even those that are like already have a little bit of like clout and influence and persuasion naturally, there's still more for them to learn, to build on, and to grow on top of that one. It's not something that you just acquire the second you have a title. It's something you develop every day. And with that same mentality, you have to show up every day. You have to consciously be aware of putting in the time and effort to developing your leadership skills every day. You don't just, the leader of a country doesn't wake up and decide, today I'm not going to be a leader. It's like, no, you're in that position, you made a commitment, it's something you have to show up every day. So they show up every day, Prime Minister or President, whatever it may be, King or Queen, they show up and they go, I'm here, I'm in this position, and I'm going to work on it being better, because that's what leadership is about. It's about the commitment to thing. It's about having the discipline and commitment to a lifelong learning. Whenever you have that title, whenever you have a position, it doesn't just stop there. It's everything, the initiative you put in to grow, and on top of all the other learning you're going to do as well. That all compounds and grows into what makes you a better leader. But it has to happen every single day. It's not something that just you do once. It's something you do consistently. The next one I'll talk about is the law of navigation. Now this is about understanding that anyone can steer the ship, but it takes the leader to chart the course well before the journey's even begun. See, they have to have a vision that planning and preparation is what instills trust in your team, because even though you're letting other people lead the ship, drive the ship, steer the ship, you already have the destination in mind, you have the course plotted out, you have the understanding of like, here's where we can go, here's the potential detours we might have to take. You've already planned that out and prepared for it all, so you know where they're going. Now that person is just following your instructions. And that law of navigation is understanding, having the vision of knowing where ideally you want to be, where you want your team to be, what you want to happen long term, forward projecting, and then before you even start, and then starting the journey, and then communicating that to your team, and then understanding, here's where you want to go, here's what I think will happen, here's what I think might happen, and here's the things that we should be prepared for and look out for. Having all that planning preparation will instill so much trust in your team, because they go like, this leader, he is thinking 2-3 steps ahead, not just the next step in front of them. And that mentality will flow on into your team as well, and they'll want to take on the same thing. Like, I should start thinking like that. I should be more of a forward projector, And so you set that standard. That's why the law of navigation is very, very important. It's one of those ones that I really feel like too many people think they're like, I'm a manager now. Yeah, great. I'll just rock up and just do this. When there's a great saying is that you've got to prepare for tomorrow the night before. That saying and that understanding is about starting the day, hitting the ground running. You don't wake up and then go, okay, let's start getting everything ready. It's like, no, you wake up, you know exactly what you're doing. You've already planned before the journey started. If you get on a ship and you start the journey and then you go like, okay, let's work out where we're going. It's like, your team's going to be like, what do you mean? You need to have all that planned and prepared. Next one I'll talk about is the law of addition. And this is all about understanding how it's about you serve others. You add value by helping others to get ahead and advance themselves. Your job as a leader is to serve even more than when you did as a follower. You need to help everybody, not just yourself. As a follower, it's fine to look at yourself and be a team player. But as a leader, you then have to serve each person individually and the team as a whole, constantly, as well as working on yourself. So that law of addition is about you increase value by helping the others increase their own value. So that's one that like a lot of people a lot of leaders or people with a leadership title, managers and things like that, basically have this self-centered, greedy sort of approach that like, no, I'm just going to do what's best for me. It's all about me. When it's like, no, it's about the team. It's about helping and inspiring everybody, about helping them become more, so then you can become more. Better team, better you. Unfortunately, not a lot of people see it that way. The other one I'm talking about there is the law of solid ground. Now, this here is so, so important. Law of solid ground is all about trust and honesty. So trust is the foundation of leadership. Your team has to trust you. They have to know that, like, in times are tough, when things are bad, when everything goes wrong, they can turn to you in trust and faith, knowing that you are going to lead them to safety in whatever capacity that may be. So when you think about that, trust is something that's inspired. You inspire trust in others by doing the right thing, by being consistent. You need to possess certain qualities, like you need to basically have character and consistency to be able to, and competence to be able to inspire that trust in your team, so they can look at you and then go like, everything's going wrong, or I don't know what to do here, what should I do, leader? And look at you, and they have the trust that you'll give them the best information that you know how. That law of solid ground is about being able to stand behind what you say because you believe it. You're not giving false information. You're not giving information, knowingly that is going to be wrong or deceptive. That's the law of solid ground. An irrefutable law of leadership is about trust and honesty, and always being able to know that if I'm saying it, I'm saying it with full belief that I believe it's right. It might not be right, but as far as I know, it is right, and I'm going to deliver it in that same way. And that team member or your team in total should understand that, like, if you said it, you believed it, and if it was wrong, you didn't tell them knowing that it was wrong. You told them knowing as far as you knew it was right, and you might have made a mistake. So into the next part of it. Law of solid ground is understanding that making mistakes is okay. It's part of being a leader. But your character has to be impeccable. So when you make that mistake, you need to be one of the first people. You need to be the first person that puts a hand up and goes, I've made a mistake here. I got that completely wrong. And people, your team will look at you and go like, wow, you're admitting a fault. You're admitting weakness. You're admitting that you didn't get something right and you're in the top position. That's character. That you're not hiding it. You're not minimizing it. You're not trying to discount it's not really that bad, or victimizing it in any way. You took full ownership of it and said that I got this wrong. Whatever I said, whatever I did was a mistake, and I own up to it. And that character will inspire the rest of your team to follow suit. They'll also look at it and go like, I need to be doing the same thing. When I make a mistake, I didn't put my hand up that's on me. That's not, but if he had done something, or if this was different, or if I had more, it's like, no, I made a mistake. I was in control of that, and I made the decisions that ultimately ended in that mistake. I put my hand up, that's all on me. So to quickly summarize everything we talked about there, the 21 irrefutable laws is all about understanding that if you follow them as a leader, people will follow you as followers, ready for you to lead them. So irrefutable means no denying. It means that they are black and white truth. The law of the lead was the first one I talked about, understanding your potential and capping your potential by not following that understanding of how to improve yourself. The law of influence, understanding that is something that the measure of leadership is all about getting people to participate. And that influence is earned, and the people allow you to influence them. You can't force it upon them. The other one I talked about there was about the law of process, and understand that leadership is something that happens daily, not in a day. It's something you work on constantly. It's a lifelong commitment to learning. Next one I talked about is the law of navigation, planning and preparation, understanding the vision, where you want to go, knowing what your target is, and then beginning the journey before you start. The next one I talked about there was the law of addition, understanding servant leadership, understanding that you're there to serve others, help them increase their value, which will in turn increase yours. And lastly was the understanding of the law of solid ground, understanding that leadership is the foundation of leadership is trust. Trust and honesty. When you make a mistake, you put your hand up saying that I made the mistake. I'm not here to victimize it. I'm here to be a victor of this. That I made a mistake here, it's all on me. I'm taking ownership of it, full responsibility. That impeccable character is what will inspire your team to go, that's my leader. That's the person I should be like. That's the person I want leading me, because when things go wrong and they say that it's wrong, I'll know that he's being truthful. And when things go right and he says it's going right, or she says it's going right, my leader says that it's going right, I'll know that it's right. Because the law of solid ground tells me that when he is wrong or she is wrong, that leader is wrong, they put their hand up. So when it's right, I'm very confident that that's going to be right as well. And that is a 21 follow those, the people will follow you, and it'll give you that is the 21 irrefutable laws to leadership. Now we'll be making a lot more of these videos for this training series to help you with your personal development goals. That's all for now though, so until next time, leave a comment below on what you like the most, and I look forward to sharing more with you in in the next episode of Harry's Highlights.